Russell, take one. Mark?
My name's Russell Janzen, and I'm from just outside of Philadelphia. I started dancing because my mom would rent movie musicals for me and my sister when we were little, and she rented Balanchine's The Nutcracker for us, and I wanted to do that. I was a mouse in The Nutcracker in my first performance with City Ballet. The first performance was a little anticlimactic. I was in a fat suit and a mask on. So. I always like that moment right before you step out on stage, especially if I'm standing there with the person I'm going to be dancing with. It's kind of like you're giving yourself over to what's about to happen, because you can't not go out on stage. It's kind of terrifying and kind of really exciting. I love 30 Rock. I've probably watched every episode at least 5 times. Back when 30 Rock was on, I used to think that if I saw Tina Fey, I'd tell her that I'd do anything to be an extra in her show. Like I one time was doing an art film and they were filming 30 Rock at a studio next door, and we were all wearing these really unattractive unitards, and I was kind of hoping that Tina Fey would walk by and just have us walk through the back of one scene in our unitards, because I feel like that's something that would be on 30 Rock. The second tour that I went on, it was a 3-week tour to, we spent a week in Copenhagen and then 2 weeks in Paris. It was one of the first times I'd really traveled with the company, and definitely the first time I felt comfortable. Tour is amazing because you get to experience a different place and still feel like you're there, you have some purpose to your days. I'd love to go to India sometime, but I think I want to go when I have many months off, and that doesn't really happen with our job. I feel like it's some place that I'd want to experience fully and not just go for a week or 2. When the company was in London on tour, we were doing the 4 Seasons, and there's a part where the core boys dance with the lead, and Ashley Bowder was doing the lead. And it's like a really easy low lift. Like I just was supposed to turn around and just lift her, and I let go before her feet were on the ground. And she basically face planted. It was, I've never been more mortified on stage in my life. And one of my friends was in the audience with someone that didn't know me, and he was trying to point out who I was. And he was like, that one's Russell, that one that just dropped the principal. I'm in a writing program at the New School, and I like to write a lot. During times when I've been injured, I've written a lot more. And I had a food blog for a little over a year. Sometimes I'd write about things that I was cooking, or I'd go out to eat and write about what I'd had there, or I'd go out to eat and then try and replicate something. And then I kind of felt like I ran out of different ways to say that food was interesting and tasty, so I stopped doing that. And my favorite chef is, I'm gonna mangle his name, but Yotam Ottolenghi. And he does kind of a Middle Eastern food in a really interesting way. And there's a lot of ingredients that I'd never ever cook with. And his food is just so good. Whenever I have people over, I try and cook at least one thing of his. I have an iPad, and I was reading on it for a little while, but I don't really like reading on a screen, so I'm definitely an old-fashioned book person. I love Jennifer Egan, Ben Lerner, who's a poet who wrote a novel recently called Leaving the Atocha Station, which is really amazing. I think my dream roles are the main guy in Diamonds, and I'd love to be an Agon. I think it's a perfect ballet. And recently, before I had a hard show, someone told me that they used to say before they danced, nothing to prove, only to share. And I really liked that, and that helped me that day when I was really nervous. My name is Russell Janzen, and I'm a dancer with the New York City Ballet.